Hi guys, today I'm doing a very special video and you can blame my boyfriend for this. If you follow my Instagram, you know that I have a bad habit of getting every book I see at Barnes & Noble, and my boyfriend has called me out on that. He has told me to make a list of 30 books that I will read, and once I read those 30 books, he will allow me to go buy more books. Actually, he will buy the books for me. This list is not legitimate yet because I'm expecting a couple of ARCs in the mail soon, so I will probably switch out some books, but right now I'm going to tell you what's on my list for the next month or so. Basically, this list is taking away from my July to be read list, but the books I plan to read in July are a part of this list. The first book that was on this list was Maximum Ride by James Patterson, and of course I already finished that, so that marks off one. The next book is A Storm of Swords by George R.R. Martin, and I've already started this book, and so far it's going well. I can't really say much because I've only read the prologue. I would have read more last night, but my eyes got so tired, and I'll probably read more today. The next book on the list is Anna and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins. I have not read this book yet, and I wanted to read it for a while, so that's why it's on the list. The next book on the list is Whisper to Me by Nick Lake. The next book is Illumini by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. I want to put this on the list now because I'm hoping to gain an ARC of the next book. I've been in communications with some of the people via email, and I'm hoping that comes through. The next book is The Problem with Forever by Jennifer L. Armentrout. The next book is Everything Everything by Nicola Yoon. Next we have All the Bright Places by Jennifer Neven. Since reading her latest ARC, Holding Up the Universe, I've been wanting to read more of her books, so why not this one? Next, we have Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover. I recently got most of her books in the mail a few weeks ago, and I've been wanting to read them since I read November 9 a couple months ago. Next, we have Unhooked by Lisa Maxwell. This is another Peter Pan retelling, but I believe it does focus on Captain Hook more, so I'm hoping this one's better than Everland. Next one is This Raging Light by Estelle Lohr. Next up is another Colleen Hoover book, which is also incorporated with Taryn Fisher. It is Never Never. Next up, we have Zenith by Sasha Alsberg and Lindsay Cummings. I've already started this book, and it's really good so far. Next up is Every Last Word by Tamara Arlen Stone. The next two books are both Colleen Hoover. We have Confess and Maybe Someday. I'm hoping to get through all the Colleen Hoover books I have so far on my shelf. Next up is Talon by Julie Kagawa. I've had this book on my shelf for quite a while, and I've heard so many great things about it, and I want to read the rest of the series, so why not start with the first book? Next up is Dragonfly and Amber by Diana Gabaldon. I did have the smaller version of this book, but then I found the bigger version at a used bookstore, so I'm actually giving away the smaller version and keeping this one. The next three books I have are the entire Books in the Summer I Turned Pretty series. I found this at Walmart for a really great deal, so I just had to grab it. And yes, I did ask my boyfriend first if this would count as 3 books. Luckily, he said yes. Next, we have another George R.R. Martin book. We have A Feast of Crows. This is the next book after A Storm of Swords. This one I probably won't read until later, but you never know. Next, we have Unrivaled by Alison Noel. Next is a book I've had on my shelf for far too long. It's Passenger by Alexandra Bracken. I did have 2 copies, and I wasn't able to have her sign the second copy I had, so I'm thinking I'm just going to give it away to a used bookstore, and I think it'll be great if someone else picks it up so they can read it too. Next up is Air of Fire by Sarah J. Maas. I actually found this at a used bookstore along with Queen of Shadows, so I want to be able to finish the series as soon as possible because it is so good, and I didn't like where she left off in the previous book, so hopefully it gets better. This next book is very coincidental because the third cover was just released today, and so I'll be reading Glass Sword by Victoria Aveyard. So I'm excited to get to read this. It's been a while since I read the Red Queen series, but I think I'll be able to get into this very easily. The next one is Rebel Belle by Rachel Hawkins. This has been on my shelf for quite some time, and I've heard a lot of great things about it. Next up is Dune by Carrie Corp and Lori Langdon. This has been on my shelf ever since Sasha Alsberg recommended it to everyone on her Instagram, and I've been dying to read it. I just haven't had the chance to get to it because I've seen so many other books that I want to read. The struggle is real. Next is Zodiac by Romina Russell. I got this because the user Benjamin Atombs recommended it to his readers, and so I love the cover. I love the sequel's cover. I've seen the sequel many times in the bookstore, and I've been wanting to read this for a while, so why not now? The last book on the list is Draw the Line by Laurent Lynn. This is one I found at the bookstore about a month ago. It deals with some very personal issues. It is a contemporary read, and it looks very clever by the cover. So the last part of the video cut off right on me because my battery died, so I had to charge the battery. And when I came home this afternoon, I had a package from St. Martin's Press, and it is the advanced copy of Nevernight by J. Kristoff. It is coming out in August, and I'll have to get rid of a book on my list to read this because I'm so excited. I finally got this. I've been waiting almost a week for it. I'll probably cross off Anna and the French Kiss to read this and keep that for another list. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Those are the 30 books I will be reading this month and next month, and probably into August as well. So this really isn't much of a July to be read list. This is just a long list of books that I'm going to be reading. I'm really excited for this challenge, actually. I like reading challenges. So this will be easy for me to read the books that have been on my shelf for months and years even. Subscribe to my channel, follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter, like my Facebook page. Bye guys!